what did I think when I found out I was pregnant with the boy? Very excited. Sports came to mind. Knew he would be an athlete. Knew I was putting him in something athletics. So it was just excitement for a boy. I can remember my ex-husband saying that he was going to be born during March Madness, so he was going to be a basketball player. So that was our sign right there that he was going to be due in March. So we figured out, March Madness, basketball. So it was exciting. I knew he would be something in sports.
And when was his birthday? When's his birthday?
His birthday was March 30th, 1999. Okay. What was he like as a baby? Tylan was very energetic. Tylan was, of course, he was the first grandson, the first son, so he was spoiled. Had everything, anything you can name of, he had it or whatever. And on both sides, both grandparents' side, he had everything.
He's the first grand on both sides. Okay.
Yes, so he was extremely spoiled. He was well loved. We were just, taken back by him, because he was our first child. So, it was like he got everything. But he was energetic, a good child. Slept all through the night, didn't give me any problems, a good pregnancy. It was extremely good child. And what was he like growing up? Mm-hmm. Easy. It was an easy birth. It was an easy childhood. He actually made being a parent an easy job because he didn't require much. He was so laid back. Easygoing. Just kind of go with the flow. Didn't require much. Just a grateful child. It was just an easy child. The age Tylan got involved in sports, I would say it was before middle school. So I would say like 6th grade, maybe like 12. He was in Pee Wee football at North Pontotoc, and no, I take that back, Carmen. He first got into sports when we were in Memphis. He was on like a basketball team, probably at the age of 8. It was like a local church, and they had like a little summer league. So he played basketball for the church and for a summer league. And funny story, it wasn't funny then, but he broke his arm right before we got divorced and right before I was moving down here. He the last game, he was trying to dunk and he broke his arm. And I remember when we transferred here to Tupelo, he started at North Pontotoc with a cast on because he had broke his arm. So, yep, I would say about 8 years old, he started playing basketball for like a local church in Memphis.
So he decided when he got older to play football instead of basketball?
Yes. I think that might have deterred him away from playing basketball too much when he tried to dunk and broke his arm. I think that kind of scared him a little bit. So he got involved in a little bit of football then. That's when he started playing football.
What did your ex-husband think when he chose football instead of basketball?
Oh, what did my ex-husband think when he chose football instead of basketball? It was different. Like, we didn't know where this was coming from. We were kind of shocked that he chose football over basketball because of his height, of course.
Mm-hmm. How tall was it? Tell everybody how tall he was.
Tylan was 6'7". Yes, Tylan was tall. But I think we were kind of shocked when he took up football. But I think he was kind of following his cousin's footsteps. Because it wasn't until we moved to Tupelo that he decided to go into football. And of course, Lil Greg, Tay, the whole street was playing football. So all his cousins were on the team. So I think he was just kind of following their footsteps and wanted to be with his cousins. So I think it was just something like that. Tylan as a brother to his sisters. The caregiver, he was like, these are my sisters and nobody's going to touch them. Nobody's going to harm them. So he immediately took them under his wings and was like, look, I'm the big brother, I run this. He would take Taylor to school every single day, and it wasn't until after he passed that she told me that he would stop by like the little corner store on the way to school and get them breakfast and just a caregiver. Like in my absence, of course, I was a single mom most of Taylor's childhood. So from Taylor to Jaden, I was a single parent. So he just kind of stepped in and was like the role model, the big brother, like, I got y'all. And like I said, in my absence, he was there. Like, he was the parent, you know, like he took care of them and made sure they had everything they needed, made sure they were straight. So he was very hands-on, just loving, soft-hearted, kind to him. I mean, him and Taylor, they had their little spats where she would try to go in and steal his phone and go through his phone and stuff like that. So, you know, they would have little altercations like that, but, you know, it wasn't nothing major. He was a real gentle giant towards him. The day that Tylan passed, we were at home. He had just got home from football practice. Came in, of course, being the big brother he is, went straight to Jaden, picked her up, held her, kissed her, loved her. Played with Taylor a little bit. Taylor was young, so he was wrestling with her. And so he went to his room as usual, nothing out of habit, went to his room. I saw him in there on the phone, just hanging out. So Taylor and Jade and I, we were in my room, and we were just kind of, you know, doing girl stuff. I think we were getting ready to take Jaden a bath. And when we got Jaden out the tub, I called for him because I think we were getting ready to eat dinner or something like that. So I called for him, and he didn't answer. So that's when I went in his room, and that's when I found him just kind of, I guess he had took a nap and just kind of passed away peacefully. The cause of Tylan's death wasn't from heat exhaustion. It wasn't from, you know, practice earlier that day. It was actually an enlarged heart, cardiomyopathy, which was a hereditary situation. It's where both he and his dad had a trait, and of course it passed on down to Tylan. And like I said, it was an enlarged heart, and it was something that was going to catch up with him eventually. But definitely playing sports made it come up faster than it would have if he wouldn't play sports. It's something that we didn't know. We didn't think to check. We didn't have heart problems in the family. Neither I or my ex-husband had heart problems. So it was something that we never thought to get checked. But Tylan was following a routine physician, and, you know, of course, had his physicals outside of the school doctors. He had his own doctors in Memphis. And like I said, no one ever thought to check that part. So preparing for your only son's funeral, I would say, is a tragedy in its own. It's something that I wouldn't wish on anybody. I mean, I guess it's something that you can't even fathom. You know, it's something that you don't prepare for, you're not ready for. It's something that you can never ever get ready for, because I mean, it's such a tragedy. I don't think I was ready then, and I don't even think I'm ready now. But, you know, it's like I had to go into, this is my child, and I got his back. No matter what, I got his back. So I think I kind of went out of parent mode for a minute, because if I had to stay Tylan's mom and process a funeral for him, I don't think I could have did it. So I had to go into business mode. Like, this is my baby, and I'm gonna make sure that he gets put away well, professional, you know, just a good homecoming for him, because, you know, even though it was just a shell, that was still my baby. So it was like, even now, you know, even while he's in heaven, I'm still shouting out orders, you know, like, Tylan, you got to stop doing this, or thank you, Tylan, for this. I know you sent this. So it's like, he's never ever not my child, but it was like I had to go into business mode in order to get him put away and have the funeral and have it, you know, to where it could be a nice home going, because I don't think I could have did it if I would have just stayed into parent mode. So I really don't, Carmen. I really don't remember that part. I just remember my family, my cousins, actually being by my side. My ex-husband was a great, I mean, he was a good help, but it was like, I know I didn't view his body before, because I couldn't, you know, before the funeral or before the wake. I couldn't view his body. So, you know, it was tough. I just asked Charlotte to go in, and, you know, Charlotte, my ex-husband, went in and made sure everything was, you know, up to par, everything was okay, because I couldn't. Like, at that point, I was starting to shut down. So it's like I couldn't, you know. So I can't even remember most of that part.
Gotcha.
You know, like, stay going. and whatever was needed, I was trying to, make arrangements, trying to get this taken care of, get that taken care of, and to make sure everything was, like Tylan was put away well. So I think if I would have stopped and looked at him and actually processed what was going on, I don't think I would have made it to the funeral.
How was it the day of the funeral, seeing him laying there?
It was emotional. It was very emotional. Like I said, I was still numb to the fact that I was burying a child, still numb. Just seeing people, being around people, and, everybody hugging you and talking to you, and, just around so many people at the time. It was like, just busy, just constantly busy, and just to stop and walking up to his casket and knowing that that was my child that I'm about to see for the last time, I mean, it just did a toll on me. I mean, it's just something that I don't even think I could, that would ever leave my mind. It's something that I won't ever forget. My faith has been tested a whole lot, losing a child. I've gotten to know God in such a way that I didn't know I could know God. Going through a divorce was something. It was a life-changing event, and I don't think I relied on God as heavily as I did losing a child. There are days where I just lay in the bathroom, crying my eyes out, I'm not gonna make it to work. I'm just gonna shut down. I'm getting back in the bed. I'm not gonna do anything. And it's like God will pick me up and be like, no, you're gonna go to work. you're gonna get your girls ready. You're gonna have a normal day. And it's like I can just pick myself up, and it's like I didn't even have a moment, and it's so weird to me, because a night before I could be just laying in bed. I'm talking about boo-hoo crying. I'm talking about crying my eyes out, and I'm like, I know I'm not gonna be able to do anything tomorrow. I'm gonna have big bags under my eyes. I'm gonna look a mess. And I'll wake up looking 10 years younger. And I'm like, this is not a part of the plan, God. It's like, how are you doing this? It's like, I'm not expecting, this type of push, and it's like, I wanted to give up, still do sometimes, but it's like, God and Tylan, of course, they won't let me get up. So they won't let me give up. So I know that there is a God, because I'm telling you that I don't know how I bounce back from that, to be honest with you. I really don't. But God. So, my faith was tested tremendously. Question God, ask why me. I've been through so much, so why put something else on me? Question, did God even love me? Of course. But throughout it all, he hadn't given up on me. So that's how I know it is a God, because it's like there's so much in store. It's like he took Tylan away, but he made life so much, it's just, life just opened up, and he just made everything so easy. It's like whatever I can ask for, if I need, it's just automatically there. So I don't know if it's Tylan in heaven pushing for me, or telling God, hey, my mama struggled for so long, send this her way, or what. But it's like, I just got my own personal angel. So the girls and I we haven't adjusted to life without Tylan. Thankfully, Jaden was so small that she can't remember. The only thing she can remember Tylan from are the pictures and, the stories that we share with her. So she remembers Tylan through that association. But, unfortunately for Taylor, she had Tylan for at least 9 years. She had him, and I know it hurts. So I try to be a backbone for her. Taylor and I are the type that we don't share information, we don't talk about it, or we hold our feelings in, and we're tough. I raised my kids to be tough, and I think I raised her to be a little tougher than normal. So she holds in a lot. There are days where she has a moment, and I just make sure I just hold her and say, it's okay. He's looking down on us. We have our own personal angel. We can always talk to Tylan. If I see a butterfly, if I'm outside and I see a butterfly or something comes through, I know it's him. There are things in life that I go through, and I know it's nobody but Tylan. So, we're adjusting by knowing that we have our own personal angel in heaven. So any parent that has lost a child is, it won't get better. I mean, you know, people say time heals. Time does not heal. It doesn't get better. It's a new normal. You know, you have to take care of yourself, because your child would always want you to take care of you first. I mean, they're in good hands. They're in God's hands. They're always looking down. So my advice would be to keep going, because you can't give up. They wouldn't want you to give up. So just keep pushing through. Of course, call on God. I mean, I can't tell you how many times that I've sat in my bathroom. Like, my bathroom is my outlet, and I've sat there in the bathroom and I've called on God, and he's listened and he's come through. Like, he's come down and he sat with me and, you know, let me know that everything's gonna be okay. So I would say just keep going. It doesn't get better. I mean, each anniversary, each birthday, you name it, any occasion that y'all shared, you know, it's tough. It really is tough, but we have to keep going, because I know that child would not want us to be suffering here on earth. So I would say just keep moving. Things that I miss about Tylan is everything. Tylan was the one that went through everything with me. Like I said, my firstborn child, so I was a new parent trying to wing it. So he had to experience me being a new mom. He experienced me going through a divorce. He experienced me moving to Tupelo, like relocating from Memphis to Tupelo. So he was there through everything, and he was like, you know, when I would look at Tylan, it would make me keep going, you know, because I was trying to make him have the best life. So I mean, everything I did, it was really for Tylan, because, you know, it was like, I don't want you to want for anything. So I miss him being here to motivate me, you know, just seeing him motivate me. So, but I miss his presence. I miss him, you know, coming in, walking through the house, being a giant over me. I miss him fixing things throughout the house. I miss him, you know, taking care of his grandmama, because he loved his grandmama. So, you know, he would always make sure she was good. I miss him taking care of Taylor and just, you know, talking to her and just, you know, trying to motivate her through life and to tell her. I remember him telling her, I mean, you will get everything you want. All you have to do is just obey him. I mean, and she would still be rebellious. So I miss him, like, you know, trying to make her just be a good child. Even though she is a good child, he would just try to help her along the way. But like I said, Tylan was everything. Like I said, we experienced so many firsts together. Like I said, new mom, divorce, relocation, and he was right there along the way, and he didn't complain. He wasn't mad or upset that we moved or the decisions that his dad and I made. He wasn't upset at us. I mean, he still loved us. He never questioned us parting ways or anything like that. So I just miss him being just the soft-hearted child that he was, you know. So that's about it. Just Tylan being Tylan.